what he has seen with his own eyes 2 miles down under ice are hieroglyphs that archaeologists that he was in, that was the mission.
A pilot flies over a restricted part of the ice and sees something that should not exist. This is just one of many stories Linda Moulton Howe kept hidden for 30 years. She spoke to scientists and soldiers who saw things in Antarctica that they were told to forget. Now she is revealing those secrets to the public for the first time ever.
I have seen the photographs of humanoids that are based in Antarctica.
From massive holes to hidden lights, the details she shares are going to trip everyone up. It is time to look at what is really going on beneath the white snow. Frozen continent reveals secret truths. For 3 decades, she kept this deep and heavy thing inside. It was a secret that seemed like it could not be real, yet she carried it every single day like a quiet burden. Then, after all those years, she made a choice that surprised everyone. She shared what she says she saw and heard about Antarctica. The way she told the world was very brave and had a lot of heart. She did not hide behind hints or talk in circles. She just opened up about a mystery she thinks no one should keep to themselves anymore. Not after all this time has passed. For a long time, Antarctica was just a frozen place miles and miles away to most people. It was just a lot of ice where humans did not really live and where nothing big was supposed to happen. But for Linda, it became something much larger. Over the years, she spoke with people who said they saw very strange things there. These were things that did not fit any normal explanation you would find in a textbook. Some of these stories came from people with military jobs who never planned to tell anyone what they saw. They were scared and had been warned about what they said, but Linda listened. She collected these pieces of the story with a lot of patience. She knew that if there was a truth hidden in the ice, it had to be told when the timing was just right. When she finally told the world, she did not sound angry. She spoke with a quiet voice, like someone who was finally letting go of a heavy suitcase she had been carrying for too long. She explained that she had been told to stay silent for many years. There was pressure from officials and rules she had to follow that kept her from telling the world what so many others would have rushed to say. She was not hiding for attention. She was holding back because she felt the weight of the secret was too big and too sensitive for people to handle. What she describes is not simple, and that is why it took 30 years. She says that what people told her was not just about snow or icebergs. It was about strange openings in the ice that should not have been there at all. There were giant gaps that looked like they went deep down into the earth. These were spots that some people were told never to fly over or talk about to anyone. One retired Navy officer even wrote to her and said his crew found a huge hole in the ice near a place they were not allowed to go. It did not look like a normal research station or anything natural. When they flew over it during a medical emergency, they felt very uneasy and scared. Soon after that, they were told in a very serious way to never mention it to anyone ever again. There were also stories about scientists who came back from Antarctica feeling very different. They were unable to talk about what they saw and were clearly shaken up. All of this built a picture that was full of mystery and quiet voices. For Linda, getting these stories was about more than just hearing rumors. It was about being there for people who felt they could not tell the truth until someone really asked them. When she finally shared what she found, she did not scream it from the rooftops. She spoke softly but stood her ground about how important it is to find the truth. After 30 years of holding back, she chose to tell the stories in the hope that folks would not just look away or think it was all made up. Her story was an invitation to wonder about what might be hiding under the ice. Something was lurking under the snow that no one was ready to face. Deep holes and ghostly lights. Wait, there is one big problem when you try to explain why there are giant, perfect holes in the middle of a frozen desert. Antarctica is still one of the most lonely and mysterious places on the whole planet. The ice goes on forever, further than you can even imagine. Linda believes that under all that white silence, there are secrets that were never meant for us to see. She spent years putting together stories from people who were actually there. At first, these stories sounded like they were from a movie, but as she listened, she saw that the stories all started to sound the same. The ice was not just empty. It seemed like it was hiding something on purpose. People who went into that cold place often came back with stories that made no sense. Pilots and military people talked in whispers about things that should not be there. Some saw big gaps in the ice that looked like they were carved out by machines instead of made by nature. Others saw strange buildings far away from any map. To Linda, these were not just tall tales. The people she talked to were nervous and only spoke to her because they trusted her to listen. One thing that kept coming up was the feeling of being watched. Many people said they saw lights moving under the ice or on the horizon. These lights moved in ways that no plane or truck could move, especially in such bad weather. Some people even said they saw shapes that looked like walls, domes, and doors, all buried under the frozen ground. These details made people very uncomfortable, but they were told over and over by different people who did not know each other. This made Linda even more curious. She also saw a weird pattern in how people acted around certain spots. If someone found something strange, they were quickly moved away and told to stay quiet. Retired officers told her about being pulled aside and warned not to talk about what they saw while flying. Scientists who were very smart and loved to explore came home looking very scared with stories they could not finish. Over time, all these stories made a map in Linda's head. It was a map of mysteries that no regular map would ever show. What made it real was the emotion. Linda did not talk to people who wanted to brag. She talked to people who were afraid or worried. Their fear told her that these were not just mistakes. There was a huge weight to what they had seen. Listening to them made Linda feel that same weight. It was a mix of being amazed and being very worried. Linda also saw a big lie. The official news says Antarctica is just ice and science. But behind the scenes, the truth is much weirder. There were strange things in satellite pictures that did not look like nature. Some people thought it was ancient history, and others thought it was high-tech stuff hidden under the ice. To Linda, the answer did not matter as much as the fact that someone was hiding it. For 30 years, she listened quietly and made sure she did not make things up. Every story and every witness was checked very carefully. She knew that if she said one wrong thing, people would think it was all a fairy tale. But the weight of all those accounts made it feel very real. Under the ice, something amazing and unexplained is just waiting. By sharing what she learned, Linda is not saying she knows everything. She is just offering the stories and the facts that were given to her over a long time. She was the one who listened and the one who wrote it all down. Now she thinks it is time for the world to feel that same weight and wonder what is really down there in the white cold. The secret was about to break and change the world forever. Brave witnesses break their vows. Believe it or not, it gets even weirder when you look at the specific missions that the military was running in the middle of nowhere. Linda realized that the best stories did not come from people looking at penguins. They came from people in the military who were part of secret jobs where they had to sign papers saying they would never talk. These stories made the mystery feel much more intense because the people telling them were so hesitant. They were worried that telling the truth would get them in big trouble. But these were the stories that Linda loved because they showed something powerful was under the ice. One thing that happened a lot was that people were told they could not go to certain places. Even the best pilots were told to stay away from specific parts of the ice. Some saw lights on the snow that did not have a source. Others saw huge holes that were not on any map they were given. Their orders were simple: see nothing, say nothing, and never talk about it. The secrecy was so strong that even a small mistake could ruin a person's life. Even with all those rules, some people still told Linda what happened. They trusted her because she did not judge them. She heard about giant rooms under the ice that looked like they were built on purpose. There were hallways and doors that did not belong in a place that is supposed to be empty. Some shapes looked like technology that was way ahead of what we have now. You could feel the fear in their voices when they talked. They were not trying to be cool, they were talking about things that haunted them. Linda also found out that whole parts of the continent were off limits. For decades, only a few people were allowed to go into certain zones. Some witnesses said they were moved in special trucks and had guards with guns, making sure they did not look the wrong way. Others said their orders were changed at the last minute because they were getting too close to something they were not supposed to see. The fact that so many people told the same story made it clear that something was being hidden. There was also a lot of weird equipment. Military folks saw tools they did not recognize and buildings that looked out of place. These jobs were watched very closely. Linda noticed that the people telling the stories were very careful. They only said what they saw and did not guess too much. But it was clear that Antarctica had secrets big enough to need the military to guard them. People felt like they were being watched by something they could not see. Some saw lights moving under the thick ice or things that science cannot explain. Even when they got home, they could not forget. Linda could feel how tense they were. It was not just the cold that was scary, it was the combination of being alone and seeing things that are not supposed to exist. Linda's job was to keep the information safe and respect the people who told her. Every detail added another layer to a story that defies what we are told in school. She realized the military was not just hiding normal stuff. They were hiding a reality that had been kept in the dark for a long time. By the time Linda was ready to tell the world, she had years of proof. The military stories were the most important because they came from people we are supposed to trust. She did not want to cause a panic. She just wanted to show what people had actually seen with their own eyes. Let us switch gears for a second and look at how the maps we use every day are missing the most interesting parts of the world. To most folks, Antarctica is just a big white blob at the bottom of the globe. Maps show mountains and ice, but Linda found a very different story. She found out that under the surface there is a landscape that no official book explains. It is like the maps we trust are only telling half the truth. Someone has been leaving out the parts they want to keep for themselves. If we found out the truth today, would our world ever be the same again? This mystery makes us wonder if we really know our own planet at all. Make sure to like and subscribe for more.